we had your boy Bobby Green, man. You've been repping Bobby Green for the longest time, right? Bobby Green went up against Grant Dawson last night in the main event. Props to Bobby Green getting another main event yet again. Grant Dawson, most would consider him the most exciting fighter in the world.
No, but they did consider him the dark horse.
Yes. I think Bobby Green was like the plus 380 favorite, was he? I mean, plus 380 underdog, I mean.
Yeah, and I think Dawson was like a minus 500, I think. Crazy odds.
Crazy.
Grant Dawson, very talented, great wrestler, great top game, great pressure, all this stuff. Bobby Green, not known for his grappling necessarily in MMA.
No.
So everyone was like, look, Grant Dawson's going to take him down. He's going to grind him out, either sub him or control him for the whole 5 rounds. Shout out Genevieve coming in saying, oh man, Bellator prelims were amazing, but the main card sucked.
Oh.
Standard Bellator right there. Standard Bellator. I saw some cool stuff, Cyborg, all this stuff. Bellator 300, they got the gold gloves. It was cool. But I mean, yeah, they took the main event out. Ryan Bader was the main event. His opponent pulls out. And instead of finding a replacement, Viacom said, actually, we'd rather just not pay the purses for the fighters. So can we just scrap it? And Bellator was like, you got it. We're going under anyways. It doesn't matter. None of this matters. But Bellator 300, shout out Bellator. They've been there. Scott Coker, Strikeforce, all that stuff. But Bobby Green versus Grant Dawson. Nobody gave Bobby Green really a chance in this one. Instead, he went out there and punched him once and won.
Yeah, I mean, this is classic Bobby Green too, right? Like you're talking classic Bellator earlier. Now talking UFC, this is classic Bobby Green where he walks around with his hands down to the point where you're his opponent. You're like, dude, this guy has his hands down. I think I could catch him. I think if I extend just a little bit, like he leans back.
You can't be that fast.
Him. Yeah, and then you swing at him, and you're like, oh, he's not there anymore. And Bobby Green, dude, again, does an excellent job rolling with the punches. Does an excellent job, just evading shots with quick, footwork back. And then his punches are so fast, man, shooting from the hip. That's where, he's in southpaw position, and he's like doing his little thing, dude, hands down, and then from the hip, straight left, boom. That's the shot. Perfect timing, Rich.
Yeah, the only punch that landed
in the background.
Yeah, shout out Rich. So it's twofold. The hands down below, if you're fighting a wrestler, you kind of want them down there a little bit, just because if they shoot, you can get the underhooks quick. You're ready to defend a takedown with them down there. But then also, like when you're striking and you're throwing from the hip like that, it's harder to see it coming. It's coming from an angle that you're not used to seeing. So it's tricky. The exchange right before this, Grant Dawson threw a jab and Bobby threw like a combo that it missed. But the way Grant reacted to that combo, it was like, when there's like the swatting at flies defense, where you're not quite parrying the shot because it's a combo. It's almost like you're trying to block the shots before they get there. And he's like, he kind of like put his head back and like did this and like skirted away. And I was like, ooh, Grant Dawson's not feeling himself in the strike in this fight. And then the next exchange, he got caught. There was also, Bobby Green is one of those guys that I think has to trash talk to fight his fight.
Yeah.
He has to find something, all this stuff. They had a little discussion at the weigh-ins, and then they're in the cage, and Grant Dawson, he's like, "Are we gonna touch gloves?" And then it cuts back to Bobby Green. He's just staring him down. And he's like, all right, never mind. And then when they brought them together for the face-off in the cage before the fight started, again, Dawson's like, he like stuck his hand out, like,
cool, man.
You shake hands, and then Bobby Green's just like, and I was like, man, Dawson really wants that. I think he's really trying to be cool, and there's always the mental game and stuff. But
do you think that messed him a little bit?
Maybe a little bit. He seems like a really nice guy, Grant Dawson.
He's like, why doesn't he like me?
Yeah. I haven't done anything to him.
Yeah.
But the other thing too, I see people. One of the top comments on Reddit for the thread for this fight, because they always post like the finish of the fight as its post, right? One of the top comments was like glass chin or something like that, and it's like, dude, Can we not? Can we just talk about how cool the punch was and like not talk shit about the punch or the chin or the ability to take the shot? Because
He got caught.
he got caught and people were like, he got dropped by basically a jab. And it's like, since when is a cross basically a jab? It's literally like, yeah, the one and the two are the same. It might as well be the same thing.
Oh
Totally
my
different.
god.
And like you said, the way
But
he
hey, he got
snapped
caught.
into
It
that,
happens, dude. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It was a
because
power shot, man.
yeah, and they're open stance, right? So Bobby was southpaw, Grant Dawson was orthodox. So um, in those matchups, it's a lot harder to land your jab than it is to land your cross. And Dawson was out there trying to jab, and Bobby Green just out there crossing.
Hmm.
Dropped him,
Yeah.
finished him real quick, and then 33-second knockout. For
I was
Bobby
like how
Green.
like going into the fight, they always show the video, of the fighters talking, and Dawson's like, "I'm the worst possible matchup for him."
I
And I was
know,
thinking, about, I was
dude.
like, I don't know, man. Like Green's probably he's a tough matchup for you, bro.
Yeah,
Like he's,
and
uh,
Green unranked going into this. Grant Dawson ranked number 10. So it's
oh
like
well, there you go.
Bobby Green's back in the rankings on a fight
He's
that
back in the
a lot
rankings.
of people weren't picking him for. But I had to
Uh,
include this picture, right, because he does the spray when he gets announced, and then the next picture is no nonsense, dealing with some nonsense, trying to dodge some of this spray.
oh yeah, dude. He
He's
was
like, ah,
pissed.
come on, man.
He was
So
pissed.
funny,
It was
dude.
hilarious. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Find a different celebration. Something that doesn't spit all over people.
Yeah, dude. Blunderbub, shout out Blunderbub, says, worth it to watch Bellator every once in a while to hear John McCarthy roasting judges. Yeah, that's about the only thing he's good for in the booth. No disrespect, but he should not be commentating. But he is great at anytime there's like a weird thing that happens, which happens a lot, like with rules or like something like that, he just goes off, and it is pretty hilarious to listen to him
It'd
rant
be
about stuff
awesome to
like that.
bring him into the UFC to be like one of those side guys that like every once in a while they're like, "Hey, we're going over to John McCarthy about this decision. What do you think?"
Yeah, they always go to Metzger, right?
Yeah,
Is
and
that who
but
they go to?
when's the last time you watched an NFL game?
Oh, dude, I don't even know. It's been years, maybe
So
like a decade.
all the best referees have been poached from the NFL, and now they work for major organizations like CBS, NBC,
Mm,
ESPN, and they're sitting off in the booths. And so whenever there's a flag, like, hey, I don't know what you see there, and the ref comes in and explains, like, hey, well, this is the way I would call it, and this is why, right? Like
damn.
that would
So
be
are the
really good to
games
have
worse now
McCarthy.
because all the good refs got pulled out?
It's so funny you say that because there was a little like year, 2 years there where it was like rough calls,
Really?
and the ones in the booth are like, well, man, that was a terrible call. It's like, well, yeah, no shit, dude, because you should be
Yeah,
down
you're
there
not in
actually,
there.
like you should be officiating, like
Yeah,
classic.
that's funny.
But yeah, I mean that'd be awesome to have John McCarthy in there like that.
That would be cool. Yeah, he's like, how many times does he have to pull the "I helped make the rules" card? He's the guy.
Yeah, yeah,
Blunderbuff
yeah.
says, didn't think it was that hard to count to 30. It's tough, man. You can't judge a fight and be a mathematician.
All right, we ready to move on to the next one?
Yeah, I mean, it was a 30-second fight. Props to Bobby Green. That's the boy.
For sure. All right, co-main event was Joe Pyfer versus Abdul Razak Al Hassan.
Joe Pyfer is the real deal, man. He really is.
Dude, I
I'm
like him.
Yeah, you know better than everybody that anytime there's a guy that Dana's pushing, I'm usually on the opposite side. Not this time. Not this time.
Dude, I just love the fact, like, so he comes out a little wild, right?
Yeah.
But,
I mean, he's
but then
fucking massive too.
he is massive, especially
It's
for the weight
crazy.
class. But when he comes in a little wild. After maybe like 15 seconds, he settles down. And the thing that I
Mhm.
love about Piper is that he's just very technical, very
Yeah.
efficient, very little wasted energy, man. Straight shots instead of looping shots, right?
Yep.
Uh, Solid takedowns. Just like there's nothing very much about Piper that's like super flashy about him, but everything
Mhm.
he just does really well.
Yeah, the left body kick was awesome. Was it left body kick, right body kick? Whatever the body kick was amazing. It was just clean, mechanically sound, snap to it. He brings it right back. His hands are up when he's throwing it. Whenever Abdul would like shell up, and he's just lighting him up with the straight punches, and then hooking around and never didn't leave himself there, didn't extend the combination too much, right? Because you're always
Yep.
worried that shell is going to turn into a counter. Mixing in the takedowns, every time he mixed it in, it looked effortless, but he didn't like just spam takedowns. Like he just it's a very good performance. This showed a lot, I think, for a lot of people.
It did. Shout out Monster Tony saying Body Bags is one of the most accurate nicknames. That is a good nickname.
Yeah, that is a good nickname.
For Piper. It's a good nickname.
Right body.
Yeah, by the way, so he after he's on top of Al Hassan, he lands that triangle, right? And
the arm triangle, yeah.
The arm triangle. And it's an awkward thing because, like, you could tell Al Hassan's kind of thinking about it. He's like, dude, am I going to have to tap? Am I going to, like, he's thinking, like, through the process. And then he taps, but with the closed fist.
Yeah. Can't do that.
And then I think
not to Smith, the side.
Right? Was it Smith that goes over and
who was on this one?
He sees that and he, like, leans down and he's like, are you tapping?
Yeah.
And he's like,
can't answer.
Like, yeah, he's like, I was like, bro,
yeah,
but right now.
It was cool. That last picture, he kind of flashed that in the first round when he clinched with him with the standing arm triangle, and I was like, ooh, that's nice, right? Like, what was her name? Can't remember. She just fought Zhang Weili. But yeah, he flashed it, and then that slam, dude. Lemos, right? Was it Lemos that got the standing arm triangle? I don't remember. I think it was, but that slam where he picked him up, dropped him, and Abdul posted, and then when he put his hand down, I was like, no! I thought we were about to see an arm break.
Yeah, me too.
And then he immediately hops over, goes for the arm triangle. Abdul did a good job of turning his body to try to align the left side of his body with the fence, because if you're Piper, you need to get onto that side of the body, and if the fence is there, then you can't put the pressure. But there was like just enough, and then the tap was. I've never seen that before. Someone tap with a punch, because it's like, as a ref, how do you stop it? It's a choke, so it doesn't really matter as much. But he went out.
And, the thing is, like, you can kind of tell it's a tap, right?
It looked like it, but like, do you want to be the guy who
he's like boom, 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 instead of like actually trying to like wind his like shot up and trying to like dig in. He was like tap, 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 but also just if you can open up that fist.
But also if you're Mark Smith and you stop that, and then he immediately is like, I was it's a punch, man, we're fighting, and then you're like, damn, like it's a choke. It's not like his arm was going to break or anything like that. So it's like worst case scenario goes.
But you can see like when he goes out and his body just
you can see his soul leave his body.
Oh my god, it was crazy. Shout out Toasty. Toasty says,
shout out Toasty.
I made it. There's a takedown. Look at it. Oh my god, it was so good. Yeah, but to your point, when he tried to post on that arm, I was thinking like that thing's gonna snap. It's gonna snap. Didn't snap, man. Instead, he just went to sleep.
Held up.
Yeah, good for him.
Look at Mark Smith too. Just like, god damn.
Yeah.
He just woo.
And I think this is where he was like, "Are you tapping?" And then, it sounds like gargling and like sleeping and snoring. So, good times, dude. Good times. But hey, Joe Piper, real deal. Win. Yeah, and I believe Dana said the flag ban has been removed.
Yeah.
Fighters can now bring their flags in, right?
And I like how he's like, if you get offended by a flag, then like that's your problem. And it's like, hey man, you're the one that banned
it. Hey everybody, Romero and Will here. Thank you so much for watching that short clip. It's just a small clip of what we covered this last Sunday.
Yeah, if you want to check out the full fight card recap, the link is in the description, and it's going to be on screen at the end here. Don't forget to go back and watch our fighter interviews that we have. And don't forget to tune in live every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, and you can join in on the fun.
Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It goes a long way. All right, everybody, thanks for watching that short clip from Story of the Fight.